Well, Chainsaw Man is almost back. Finally, after waiting for the longest time, Chainsaw Man will be back in a couple days. And now we finally get to see this greatness of Chainsaw Man return for part 2. So now we just have to question, we have to theorize, we have to analyze, and try to see, is this next part 2, is it going to be able to overtake part 1? And will it be able to have any villain that will be able to top Miss Makima herself? Hold on, cut into the video quick, feature me here. So we've had some leak images of Chainsaw Man Part 2, and I just needed to put them in the video and talk. So the first image we have is this woman with black hair with this type of chicken with a bow tie and with her holding a chainsaw. And this has been getting me and a lot of other people online to speculate. Is that older Kobeni? Is that older Nayuta? Or is it something else? And I believe that it's not Kobeni, it's not Nayuta, because Kobeni already has a devil, and I don't think you can have another contract with more than one devil, I think. Not 100% sure on that. And then 2, for Nayuta, is that I feel like they're not just gonna skip over her being a child. I feel like they're gonna show Denji trying to raise Nayuta and go through the process and the problems raising her when she's a kid. So I do not believe that we're gonna get that. But what I really believe, the other image that we get, Denji and the same mystery girl, and he is chainsawing through her head, and he has the same school uniform he had on at the end of part 1. So I'm thinking that she is gonna be that antagonist, and she finds out or somehow knows that he is the Chainsaw Man and he has the Chainsaw Devil, and I feel like she some reason needs him, the Chainsaw Devil, and maybe she's trying to blackmail him for knowing his secret because she needs that Chainsaw Devil for some reason. She needs to use him for some reason. So I feel like there's gonna be a manipulation, and Denji doesn't want the secret to come out because he wants to live that normal life. He wants to live that normal life in school. So I really believe that there's a chance that it's probably he's just being blackmailed by this woman. Some sort of plan or something she's trying to do, is because I kind of believe that maybe she might end up being one of the 3 other horsemen. Because remember, Makima in the past she was saying that she was one of the horsemen that took down the Chainsaw Devil. And I feel like maybe this girl might end up being one of the other 3 horsemen, so she might be the one using the Chainsaw Man, because she, instead of wanting to kill him, she wants to use him for her own success and her own plans in the future. And I feel like it's gonna tie in somehow with Nayuta and Denji, and it's something how it's gonna tie into the future of the story. And this may be out there, but hey, we're just gonna have to wait and see. Now I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Is for Denji, his new school life, because we see at the end of part 1, he is going to be attending school, and I believe that there's probably going to be a time skip, maybe a couple years, couple months, whatever it is between the time of ending of part 1 to part 2. So I feel like we're gonna have a whole new setting. He's gonna be in a school life, and he may either be lonely by himself, or is he gonna have a couple friends that stick with him. But also I feel like it would make more sense if he was by himself, because he's always wanted that normal life, that normal school life that he wanted, but he never had that because he ended up being with the devil hunters and ended up basically killing devils and living that lifestyle, and has a completely different lifestyle from these normal kids who is attending school every day. That Denji also probably would have to balance his school life and being a devil hunter, is that he is raising the next control devil, and it could end in horrible disaster, or it can end up working out in a great and amazing spectacular way. But we know Chainsaw Man, so it's gonna go south pretty quickly, because we already know from their first meeting is that she was already trying to command Denji when they first met. But also too, even though she's controlling, all she wanted is affection when she just wanted hugs. So it puts in this path that this control devil wants to be, wants to have affection and just wants to be cared about. But also too, there's a chance it could end up being the next Makima again. So it's this constant side of where Denji has has to make sure he does this right, because it's that same thing that could end up happening, is that his trauma, having Makima being back, is him seeing and remembering what she did. In instances of where maybe where Nayuta gets out of control, it could bring those small remnants of Makima back and just have Denji have those flashbacks and makes him super concerned and worried, and maybe might have a potential future part of maybe like even like Fate's Day Night where Shiro was thinking about killing Sakura. We could have that with Denji with Nayuta thinking like, should I just kill her as a chainsaw man and she'll be forgotten? Should I really do that? Like, you have that moral debate, should he kill Nayuta? I feel like that'd be a very impactful and important scene that we could potentially have in the leading coming part 2. But still, Denji has a couple things of how to take care of somebody. He has the basic understanding, but I do gotta say, I wonder, and I feel like at the end of part 1, they've let up so many possibilities that could be set up for part 2. And after the death of Makima and also the loss of the public safety devil hunters, Japan is in a much more dangerous state than it was in part 1. And finally, there is one of the greatest threats of all in Chainsaw Man is Hell. Hell, we don't know much about the homeland of the devils. One at least faction within it is the 4 horsemen who fought Chainsaw Man in the past. So Makima seems to refer in the manga as one of them, which means there are at least 3 devils within the power equal to hers still residing in Hell. So they tried to kill Chainsaw Man in the past, which was before. But the only issue with that, Denji's exploits as being the Chainsaw Man, is putting him on TV, has made him widely known to the mortal world, which he is going to be on their radar. Now, odds are good though, we are going to see some action from all of these threats in part 2. Are they going to get the next member of the horsemen actively pursuing Denji and the Chainsaw Man pretty much quickly into part, but likely stay in the background threat? But little incidents might pop up here and there, and which would finally bring in a big question is, we do not know much about the Chainsaw Man, the Chainsaw Devil. So slowly bringing in the other horsemen in different arcs or like different parts, like maybe, because I feel like there could be so many more parts. We can have part 3, part 4, part 5. We could maybe finally have little incidents, little hints. What is really about the Chainsaw Man? What is the Chainsaw Devil? So many questions we have not had answered yet. So I'm hoping part 2 in this arc we finally get at least a couple bit of answers. I know we're not going to get them all, but hopefully we get some of it. Probably going to see some familiar faces. While Makima won't be the returning in person, her presence is still an ongoing to be felt both in the wider world of the grand scheme of things and throughout her successor, Nayuta. Even if Denji is able to take care of Nayuta, well, in a form of strong connection with her, if she ends up in trouble, that could push Nayuta to bring in using her control devil powers and try to help save him, possibly also bring out a part of Makima that's probably still resides inside Nayuta, which could be a very interesting way to bring her back into the soul. And we see past control devil 2, despite her death, Makima's exceptional power and dedication to forward planning in the series, she may be even able to intervene in the plot of all of this in part 2, via connecting plans prior to her death, because Makima loves planning ahead. If she doesn't have a setup like that, the devils do retain some limited memory through reincarnation, potentially enough to justify seeing visions of Makima. Justification will allow Fujimoto to give our departed villain the occasional cameo and really make the story a lot better. And it's unlikely that Makima will truly return because of Nayuta. She's the reincarnation, and it would invalidate Denji's victory in part 1. But she's a fan favorite, beloved character that Fujimoto seems to really enjoy writing. Would not be surprising though, also too, if power would be reborn as more accurate as reborn as the Blood Devil. But I also feel like, when they go back to Devil to find her best friend, because power said, to go find the Blood Devil and befriend it. And once he gets there, it won't be a welcoming trip for Denji or the Chainsaw Man at all, because a lot of devils are probably gonna hate him. So it's gonna be probably a bloodbath. But we know when those two finally meet, power is not going going to remember him. It's going to be an emotional scene, and I just want to know how, I really want to see and know how Fujimoto is going to go throughout with that part, because we know somehow power will come back, but it's going to tug at our heartstrings, and it's going to be a heartwarming moment and a sad and depressed moment at the same time to see power again, but it might not even be the same human form we saw of power in part 1. So there's so many questions left up in the answer for that. But also with other fallen devils, every devil who's died on earth reincarnates in hell. Theory is that Angel could come back, Beam could also come back, or Cosmos, so there's a very strong possibility to see someone's fan favorites that even has the potential for them to come irrelevant to the plot again, like they did in the past in part 1. Do still have characters who might return. It's a possibility, from Makima's death has left the remaining puppets free. So Rize, Princey are still out there, which could bring a lot more story points. But the one lady that we have not talked about is Miss Benny herself. Since death would be end of her suffering, there is just no way that she's out of the woods just yet. She is finally free of her family and has a chance of building a normal life for herself, just like Denji. But perhaps she even managed to afford a new car, maybe, but not enough to keep her safe. If Fujimoto, I've seen, has too much fun tormenting her, odds are great that sheer bad luck is on Kobeni's way. Propel her, and it probably will propel her back into the plot, even if she still has no plans of working as a devil hunter. Kobeni has a contract with a devil that we surprisingly have not known anything about yet, and it might lead to her ended up needing to fight, and we might finally learn what her devil is, and it would be very interesting to see what has led up for Kobeni. But no matter what Chainsaw Man has leading up for the future, we know me and myself, Crystal Klaus, will be on top of that. I'll be keep on talking about Chainsaw Man, and I can't wait to see what is next. So basically, let me know down in the comments, who do you guys really want to see return out of everybody else in part 2? Let me know down in the comments. It's been your boy Klaus, and I am signing out before the Makima Sims comes back in a couple of days, so I'll see you all later.